Hi, it's Coach Jeff. It is April 10th, 2020. It's 9 o'clock at night. And another amazing day. Um, just the day started, had some interesting stuff. Once again, everybody's dealing with being in the house and being quarantined differently. And my son was struggling. I mean, he's going into high school next year, so that's a big thing, and not being able to do what traditionally he knows and he's seen people do, which is move on from 8th grade to ninth grade, and my daughter going into middle school, and it's going to be tough for everyone. And one of the things I need to remember is everybody's experience is going to experience it differently, and so um, being available to understand that and being available so that if I'm making a connection with my son, whether it's my son or my daughter, my wife, or she's connecting with me about something, remembering that it's okay if they're coming from a different point than I am. And that's just how it's going to be. So that was good because it was nice to help, let him get his stuff out and know that it's okay to have feelings. It's just like everybody. It's okay to have feelings, and it's okay not to feel confident and to be struggling. And then I spoke to one of my friends who's always made a huge impact on me. I haven't known him a long time, for a couple of years, but it's when I first met him, I wanted him to work at the gym, and I did everything possible so he could work at the gym because he is very unique. The way he thinks, it's the end goal is the same way I think. He just comes about it differently, and he's a little bit more cerebral. And I mean, he's a very large gentleman, rugby player, and he's a gentle giant, and he's such extremely wonderful hugs. And that, to me, I think is being able to reconnect with him today and just, let him know. He made a huge impact on my life. There's so many times in the day, or, when I think about entrepreneurs and everything, he's the one that brought that up to me 2 years ago. And it was just wonderful and very fulfilling to be able to reach out to him and let him know that, he made an impact on me and made a difference and that I care about him. And then was reached out to one of my friends, and it was what I really like about this whole journey about connecting is I saw pardon me, one of my friends post, and her mom, and it reminded me that her mom is in the medical field and is a nurse. And I reached out because as soon as it came in my heart and my brain, I didn't procrastinate. I didn't wait. I didn't, I took action, and I jumped in, and I said, you just reached out and said, hey, how are you doing? Hope you're okay. You're my prayers. And, she explained that she's starting a midnight shift, and she's overflowed to COVID patients starting tomorrow. And she was worried. And so I reached out again, and I told her, listen, she's still my prayers, and I'm very grateful that she's doing that, and that, what I'm trying to do and try to build with this help for our heroes, and that connection of just giving them somebody to talk to and somebody to reach out to, and getting a hold of some volunteers that would be willing just to listen to them. And once again, positive feedback. She said that's such a wonderful, needed thing. So that was wonderful, and it's nice to know that I'm on the right track. And I reached out to another person this morning, and once again, it's our kids have gone to school for years, and all of a sudden, I was talking to her about possibly trying to help, start a nonprofit and for the help for our heroes, and she explained that her degrees, what she did was sociology with a minor in psychology. It was mine's the other way, and she realizes she likes order and she likes being behind the scenes and keeping things organized. And I'm like, that's interesting since I am not organized and I like being in front of the scenes. So it was just wonderful. And she was helping because she made a great point. She said, this is awesome. And I just told her my why I feel the need to do that. And, that God directed me to do it. And she was explaining how, her husband was in the military and some of the stuff that they struggle with trying to get traditional therapy wasn't very helpful. So something that's a lot easier to get along with is that, to accept is just having a conversation, just, being there socially and emotionally for the people dealing with this situation is good for everybody in a time of crisis, because it's not just going to end. It's not, and the connection part and that vehicle is necessary all the time. So I'm super grateful that I was able to have that conversation this morning with her. And then this evening, we had a wonderful dinner, and we played a video game as a family, and then another one. I actually won. That's super unusual, but it's just such an opportunity. And so then my daughter wanted to have a fort, and I'm not really great at building forts. My wife is amazing at fort building. I kind of turning in my man card. I don't really build forts well. So what I did is I got my 2-person Eureka tent out and set it up in her bedroom, and that's where she's sleeping. She thinks it's the best thing in the world, and it's no longer really waterproof. I mean, it is old. It is 20 years old, and it fits just perfectly in her room. It's a nice little 2-person. And then so my son then said, well, I want a fort. So him and then his mom built a fort in his room. And it's just fun. It's making memories, the important things people remember. And for me, being available to have those opportunities and to share that with them is something that I might not have had on a Friday night because I might have been working or wanting to hang out or do anything instead of the really important things, and that's kind of my prayer, is that I stay aware of my why and what really truly moves me, which is spending time with my family and being a dad and being a husband and being a good friend. I talked on the phone to my friend for almost 2 hours, I think something like that, hour and a half. That is what fills my soul. And so I encourage everybody to have well, I had a wonderful day, but I encourage everybody to attack Saturday and attack it with knowing your why. Don't change your beliefs to match your actions. You will never be happy. It is not a recipe for success. Make sure you change your actions to match your beliefs. And he was talking to me about, values, and one of the things he said that was really wonderful that he remembered always about me is that the question was the answer. And so a lot of times apparently I would ask a question because that was the answer. And I felt very grateful that and appreciative that I made a positive impact in his life. So That's what this is all about. That's what this connection is. That's what life is. And unless we take time to focus on it, and we change our actions and stop running around and stop being so busy and actually do something, do some work, do some connecting, do some reaching out, do some sharing of our time and our wisdom and our knowledge and our opinion when asked for it. And that stuff is going to be what changes the world. So attack tomorrow and get after it. So if nobody tells you, I care about you. Have a great Saturday.